Welcome to Bay Area Art Beat. I'm Susan Duhan Felix, and it's a pleasure to be with you again. So many exciting things to tell you about coming up in the month of May. And get your piece of paper ready to get down websites and events coming up. And we'll talk more about that later. Right now, I would like to introduce Bruce Bierman, who is a creative inspiration. He has written and is directing a marvelous play. I think it's, I'm sure it's a marvelous play.
It is.
That will be done next weekend. He'll tell you all about it. What I want to tell you is put it on your calendar. It's going to be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and plan to go one of those nights. I'm actually going to go Saturday night, and if you want to go meet me at the North Berkeley BART station, we can go together. I've seen other things that Bruce has done, and this is really, I'm very excited about it. So tell us a little bit about what's happening, Bruce.
Well, the play is called Wonder, based on Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
And playing May 3rd, 4th, and 5th at the Phoenix Theater in San Francisco, this darling little, I think like a 50-seat theater in the theater district right by ACT. And it's actually, this play has been in development for a couple years. It started from a class that I've been teaching at Stagebridge, which is a marvelous arts company now going on 40 years.
Wow.
In Oakland. It serves our elder community with classes in performing arts, Shakespeare, playwriting. I teach an experimental theater workshop there. And we started working on the text of Alice just as a springboard because it's so rich in images and symbols, and a wonderful piece for actors to work on. Many theater directors have always been attracted to Alice in Wonderland,
Yeah.
myself included. However, we're taking a special view of this Alice. It's our interpretation. And really it came out of my father's battle, his dance with Alzheimer's. We started developing the show right around the time, just before my father died. And surprisingly, other people in the cast had stories about parents, loved ones who have gone through Alzheimer's, through dementia. Yeah. And we all noticed a certain pattern, that it wasn't all tragedy, that it wasn't all sadness, that there were moments of prophetic pronouncements, and truth and laughter, and lots of love. And this was my father. Thank goodness he didn't get angry or bitter. In fact, the opposite happened. The hard edges that I knew as a kid, you know, some of the criticisms and the judgments and the anger that was part of his person, it just lifted off, and he just dropped down into his heart. And what remained was his essence, his humor, his love for other people. He was always helping other people. He couldn't remember how old he was. He couldn't remember his name sometimes. Sometimes he asked me if I was his father.
Yeah.
But what remained was his essence.
Yeah.
His love, his giving, his humor. And we thought, our question for this production was, what does remain of us when we forget everything else?
Great.
What remains?
Yeah.
And really that's what we ask in this play. And there's a lot of music in it because I love music, my father loved music, and music has a special relationship with Alzheimer's and dementia.
Yeah. Do you want to talk more about that?
Yeah. There's been many books and research done about music in Alzheimer's patients. They could forget everything, they could be sleeping, they listen to some of their favorite music or any music, and they come awake and they start singing.
The movie Come Alive.
They come alive,
Come Alive Inside.
right?
Alive Inside.
Alive Inside, right.
Right, just wonderful.
I just saw that film for the first time.
Yeah.
I actually finished like a almost a year-long program with Lior Sarfati, a good friend of mine who has opened the Village Song program,
Yeah.
teaching people how to bring music to Alzheimer's patients.
Yeah.
And I also developed this play I wanted to bring it to people who had Alzheimer's because there's so much music and movement in it
Yeah.
that I thought that they would somehow relate to it more.
Oh, great. So do you plan to move it around to different facilities and stuff?
I don't know. Maybe. I hope
Okay.
so.
You hear that, facilities out there? We got a play to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's so important. And one of the things I really want to talk about in these programs, if I can, is arts as healing. And the way music seems to speak to people, and art. I work with somebody doing art who has dementia, and
That's right.
It gets to a place where other things don't get to, and that's an amazing, amazing aspect.
It is, you know, and a lot of people, they come to their parents or whoever has Alzheimer's with a lot of sadness. You know, they're looking at what is lost, what they can't do anymore.
Yeah.
And I felt that, wow, my father actually is more of himself
That's wonderful.
than I have ever experienced in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, you know, we have to realize how much of it is what we project and our input into what's happening with people. But I think the idea that coming down to the essence, that's really beautiful. And the music and dance. What about, I haven't seen dance. Have you done dance with people with Alzheimer's or with dementia?
I do, yes.
Yeah.
In fact, that's my main thing I do with them is movement and music. And it also, movement and dance just wakes people up, wakes them up.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Bruce,
Short but sweet.
I hope we get a lot of people to see the play. And I'd love to see this play tour around to the different facilities where there are people with Alzheimer's and dementia. And it sounds like a very hopeful play. And I think that those of us who have relationships, either family relationships or friendships with people with Alzheimer's and dementia, I mean, that to look at it a different way, and the change can come from us, and we can bring it to the people we spend time with. So good luck, and I'll see you there
Thank you.
What's the day? It's the third, Thursday the 3rd.
Thursday, May 3rd.
Friday.
Friday the 4th, Saturday the 5th. Sunday is all sold out.
Great,
Yeah.
great. So we won't even mention it.
Don't mention it.
But I will see you on Saturday night.
Great. And congratulations on your new show.
Oh, this is great. Thank you.
Okay.
Delighted to speak
Thank
to
you.
you. Thanks a lot. Okay. What a pleasure
Here.
to have you on Bay Area Art Beat. And World Music Festival is one of my most favorite things. It's usually in the middle of June, right?
Yes, we're starting it early this year so we can be part of Sunday Streets.
Great. Now, why don't you say a little bit about yourself, who you are, how long you've been doing this to begin with?
Well, I was part of the agency and people that were trying to figure out what we wanted to do for Telegraph. So we said, let's have a block party and let's make it world music to represent the different types of merchants and the students, because it's a mecca of different types of people. And that's how we started World Music. So it was meant to be a block party up on Durant. And we had a couple of them. And then I was working for the Telegraph Area Association also, and they called me back and they said, well, we want it to be all over the neighborhood, and we know you can do it. They didn't know that I had a background in music or anything like that, and so I've always insisted to ask the musicians what they want, to ask the people who are the best, and I've done well. So I have a melody line, and so if it's a talking drum, I can hear the melody, and so it's been a joy to get to know the music and also see people smiling, because this year we're having it from Friday night, starting at La Peña, an after-hours party or pre-party, all the way through Sunday. Ashkenaz is also doing a party. Those two parties are 8 to midnight, and then it's Telegraph Avenue. And so when people are seeing music for 8 hours, noon to 8, each day, Saturday and Sunday, they get happier and happier and happier.
Don't I know it? So tell me about, everything is free, right?
All free.
One of the things I really want to do on this program is really emphasize the wonderful gifts of free art, fabulous things we have in the city. So the first party is at La Peña on Friday night.
La Peña, 8 p.m. to midnight. Now, I don't know what they're doing yet, but it's a really fun thing. And Natalia and Bianca work very hard to get this together with some of the best people. So that's an exciting, fun thing. And then
That's going to be your surprise.
well, we work together, but I don't. They're still working it out.
Okay. And when is the Ashkenaz party?
It's the same time on Saturday, 8 to midnight. And what they're doing is
Great.
different types of body movements. So they'll have clogging, they'll have flamenco,
wonderful.
they'll have marimba from Zimbabwe.
So the emphasis will be on the dance.
Yes,
because it's a
dance and movement.
Great, great.
First time it's ever been free, and this is the 15th year it's been done. And we have a new
Fabulous.
director, and she just said, I want to have a free one too. So that's amazing.
That is great. That's great. Actually, the Bay Area Dance Week Festival is starting on the 29th and the 28th, but on the 29th there'll be a free event at Ashkenaz
Okay.
to dancing. So great. So tell me more about what's happening.
Well, so on Saturday, we have music that's in different cafes, on the sidewalks, street scenes, and people just need to go to Telegraph in Haste because that's where our information booth is.
You have a chart there that says
Yeah.
everything that's going on everywhere.
And
right?
we give them pamphlets so they can find out where they want to go, and they can also go on our website, bwmfest.org. So it's fun. So you go and see one bit of music, and then you'll find another one. So
Yeah,
our gem on Saturday is a People's Park concert.
great, great.
And we have Moroccan music that's coming to open it up. We have an
Wonderful.
imam who's Yasser Chadley, and he's bringing his young musicians with him. So it'd be Moroccan trance, and they say Moroccan. So it's rock and roll and Ghanawa trance.
Wow,
And then you saw the next one, which is Fanafi Allah.
unbelievably fabulous, unbelievably fabulous.
And in 2016, they're in the YWCA gym, and I've never heard this music because you hear fusion music. So it's authentic, aesthetic, what they do in Pakistan. And these fellows and lady, they've been performing in Pakistan where they study from the masters, the Sufi masters, and then they tour all around the world. So when we just put up our event listing on Facebook, they have 43,000 likes.
Oh my God.
Because they tour and they just happened to see Berkeley World Music because the name sounds fine. I
Yeah.
said we only do local, and then this voice comes back, we're local. So they came to our festival and they had such fun that now we're on their list and they wanted to come back.
Oh, wonderful.
And they're world
Wonderful.
famous.
Oh, they were amazing. I mean, I go to the festival almost every year. It's 15 years, is that right?
Yes.
And there's always something wonderful. Another thing is that I like to mention the way we honor people in the city council. Was it last year or the year before? I think we honored Stephen Kent,
Yes.
who was one of the performers, and he'll be performing
Well,
again this year.
he won't be this year because
Oh.
he said that he was going to tour in Japan. And
Oh.
so he's here lots of times. They'll be there another time. But instead, we're having the Fula Brothers.
Oh.
And the Fula Brothers, they're a trio, and they play Mali music. And this one fellow was one of the people in Mali a little while ago that changed the hunter's harp from being 5 strings to 14.
Wow.
So he's playing, we call it a harp. It's called a Ngoni Kamali, or Kamali Ngoni is what it is.
Yeah.
And then he has a master guitarist that's doing the same thing. So it's almost like 2 harps, and then it's backed
Wow.
by percussion, and that'll be in at Raleigh's Pub. So they're our finale, where Stephen was going to be. And they've been on the stage before playing with a big band, Marcus James and the Wassenrai. And so these are fabulous musicians that can play in different places.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Then the next day,
Yes, now we're on to Sunday, right?
well, yeah, so music in cafes, the People's Park concert, Cumbia will be our last group. But on Sunday, what's so interesting is that I was asked to do the music for Sunday Streets.
That's great.
So that's a palette.
Great, great.
So we're going to have like Cuban music up on Durant, And it's a big enough space that I've asked them to do some music that is called Rueda, which is a circle dance. So there'll be a chain dance going through the crowd.
Oh, wonderful.
And then on the other side, before that, we have marimba music.
Oh, great.
So that's part of the dance.
Okay. Listen, everybody, go. You will not be sorry. It's fabulous. It's
Yes.
going to be something during those days that
For everyone.
For everyone, everyone. I'm so glad you could come on and you could tell us about
That's
it.
exciting just to talk about it, and
Yeah.
seeing it is a whole new
And,
story.
yeah, really. You won't be sorry. Go. Thank you very, 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 very much.
Thank you for being there each year.
I'm a faithful.
Yes.
Yep. And thanks. Speak to you. And welcome, Lester Chambers.
Well, thank you.
I mention a lot that the city of Berkeley honors really special people who either live in Berkeley or perform in Berkeley. And 4 years ago,
Yeah.
4 years ago,
Yeah.
Mr. Lester Chambers performed at the Art House, and I was so impressed. I came up and said hello to him and said to him, the city of Berkeley would like to honor you. Do you remember what you said to me?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you said to me, you've got to get to know me better.
You got to get to know me better.
And it's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure, and we know each other better.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you what you're doing now.
Well, what I'm doing now is been recording, and I just finished and released the song by Wilbur Harrison, Let's Work Together, and dedicating it to the energy and the drive that we see coming from the young generation
Great.
that's insisting on the changing of gun laws at schools
Great.
and the safety issues. Kids should not be afraid to go to school.
Right.
That should be their safe haven for the day.
Right.
But it's becoming, their paranoia place to be.
Right.
And it shouldn't be.
Of course
So
not.
I'm dedicated. I did a gospel version of this song
Great.
with 4-part harmony. And it's really beautiful.
Great.
And it's for the young people and the old people too, more so than the young, because they need to hear it and know that we need to look up and look out for our youth
Yeah, absolutely.
and make sure that this great education that they're getting is not going to waste,
Yeah. Yeah.
And so many kids now have the idea that they don't want to go to school because they're afraid they're going to be the next person shot,
Isn't that horrible?
And David's wife, David Aguilar, my friend that came with me, his wife is a school teacher, and she teaches from grade to the fifth, up to the 5th grade 5, and she say that the kids are not so, at that age, they're not so into it because they're not seeing it on television.
Good.
They're busy playing with the toys, which is good,
Great.
which is what kids should be doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's a great thing.
Yeah.
And they're not being so petrified in the mornings. Oh no, it's my dying day.
Oh, it's horrible.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think that this is one of the issues that I really want to bring up in this program. Next month, we're going to have somebody talking about a quilt that kids have done all across the
Yes.
United States to end gun
Right.
violence.
like the one they did for the AIDS.
Right, that's
Yeah,
right.
but for the kids
That's
and
right.
no gun violence.
That's right.
I just think, and I'm going to encourage any and all the kids to keep that energy going,
Yes.
keep that right on top of the menu, because the more they hear about it, the more they know that you're serious about it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I saw kids standing in the rain with signs that said no more violence
Wasn't
in
that-
school.
that
I thought
touching?
that was one of the greatest days
I
I
know.
watched TV.
I know.
And one of the greatest things I've seen on TV
Right,
this
right.
year was the concern and the fear at the same time.
Yeah.
it's not a good feeling to be afraid.
No, I was driving down University Avenue, and I got into my car, and I got a little rain. I thought, oh, this rain. And then I drove down the street, and the street was just lined with these kids being poured on, you know, with their signs.
But
It
they
was
were there.
so touching, so
They
touching.
stood there in that rain.
Yeah, yeah,
And the ones that say, honk if you want to change in your life.
yeah.
You know.
Now, Lester, we have your website up
Yeah,
there.
LesterChambers.com.
If we went there, could we hear your new song?
Yes,
Great.
if you went to LesterChambers.com, you could hear
Great.
Let's Work Together.
Great.
And it's to me, I think everything is beautiful anyway, but
Yeah,
this is a beautiful piece that I've done.
great, great.
And the idea and the intentions. And I was at a big 420 party on Friday night, and I started talking in the dressing room. People asked me, what are you doing? And I started telling them the same thing I'm telling here,
Yeah,
what I'm doing, and they just thought it was a wonderful
yeah,
idea.
yeah.
And they're going to give me a lot of support
That's
with
great.
that. Yeah.
That's great.
And
No,
I'm
it's-
so happy to be here with you, Susan, and talking to you,
Yeah.
with you.
Well, the other thing I want to mention is that I heard your Christmas song that I
Oh.
loved. It was so wonderful. Can people, if at the website, can they see?
Yes, they will
Great.
be able to see Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer
Great, great.
in a reggae version. of
Reggae
it.
version with also a little hip hop, right?
A little hip hop.
That's
Yes,
like they've never
already.
heard it before.
Yeah. I am in the process of trying to get a nonprofit organization going
Yeah,
for a nonprofit studio, which will go out and find people like my age, and that's never going to be able to say, I just got a record deal.
yeah,
But now you will be if this
Great.
works, if
Great.
it works. I'm looking to get a storefront in Vallejo
great.
and to get the nonprofit going and a co-op idea of a
Great.
studio.
Great. Well, hopefully, people that are going to hear you, and they have the Art Beat at the station, and they
Right.
can send in because it's a great idea. I love
Thank
to
you.
see it happen.
Well, we're going to work on it and keep working on it, and and it'll happen. It'll come
Okay.
about because it's a great thing. You
Great.
know, it's a
Great.
great thing.
So it's time for me to say goodbye to you.
Oh, so quick.
I know, I know, I
Yeah.
know. Well,
We'll do it again, huh?
Yeah, do it again.
Yeah,
do it
yeah,
again.
yeah.
So I'm going to say goodbye to people, but first I'm going to say a poem that I wrote last month.
All
And
right.
the poem goes, April 13th, 2018, I read in the New York Times, quote, being happy is the new rich, close quote.
Right.
I woke up this morning feeling very rich.
Very rich.
Very
well,
well.
April the 13th happens to be my birthday.
Of course.
I was born on
Of
April
course.
the 13th, and it's a very, very rich day in my life.
We've immortalized
Yeah.
April 13th.
Yeah.
So people who are out there, you have the email. If there's things you want to see on the show, let us know. And also, if you have suggestions of people who you'd like us to honor at the City Council, let us know.
Right.
And I'm so excited to be talking about things like dealing with gun violence.
Yes.
Bruce is dealing with people with dementia and
Yes.
Alzheimer's.
Beautiful.
And the wonderful free things going on in this community, so that there's
Yes.
art for everybody.
There's something for everybody to do.
Yeah, yeah,
And we all need to work on gun violence.
Yeah.
More so than anything.
yeah.
Because yesterday, some guy shot up a Waffle House. And
Oh,
just
it's,
ruthless.
but art is the thing. I said this last time too, that art is the field where we can all come together.
Well, you know, I think before the arts and music and stuff was taken out of the schools, there wasn't this kind of violence.
Absolutely. That's
There was
very,
not this kind of violence.
very important, very
Yes.
important
And
point.
I paid attention to that, and I
Yes.
thought, these kids, they need the art.
They need that.
They
Absolutely.
need the brushes in their hands.
Yeah.
They need the guitars. They need the harmonicas. They need
Play-
all of that.
I don't know how much time we have, but why don't you play us out?
Okay.
We'll be back the first Wednesday in June. Please join us then.
Thank you so much.